Hey fertility girls, welcome back to my channel. I am currently in the middle of my 2-week wait. Today, what we're gonna discuss is how I have figured out how to cope with it as much as possible, because there's really only so much you can do. And at some point or another, you are gonna feel a little bit nuts. There's no way around it, because I guess there is a way around it. If you're in your 30s, you don't really care. You're just kind of trying, kind of not. But for someone that is actively trying to conceive, this feels like an eternity. Like it really, really does. It feels like the 4-month wait. Like, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. So even though I sound a little nuts right now, I actually have come up with a way that is working for me to kind of just take a pause, slow myself down, and allow myself to look forward to something. Believe it or not, I have figured out a way to look forward to something. So what it is that I do is I take a look at all of the no's, because God knows there's a huge list of all the things that you are not allowed to do when you are pregnant. I look at the lunch meats I can't have. I look at the soft cheeses I can't have. I look at the alcohol I can't have, which is all of it. I know I'm not supposed to have a lot of refined sugars if I'm pregnant. And I mean, the list goes on and on. Saunas, you want to go sit in a sauna? Don't be doing that. You're gonna microwave your kid. Don't be doing that. So I take a look at all the no's. And then once I go through all of the no's, I say, okay, if I'm not pregnant on this cycle, which one of these things do I want to do during my period? And I figure out a way to look forward to something. So for example, last month, I went to sushi with my sister. That way I was looking forward to a sushi date with her, and I had somebody to talk to if I needed to. Now this month, what I'm doing is I have been craving chocolate cake. Now, I think I said it, but I'm on day 30 right now. I'm supposed to start my period today or tomorrow. I feel like I am going to start my period. So the likelihood of me being pregnant is, I mean, there's a chance, but you know how you have that gut feeling where you're like, I don't think it happened this month. And maybe it's me just trying to play tricks with my mind. But anyway, besides the point, I told myself, if it doesn't happen for me this month, I'm going to go to Safeway and I'm going to get the biggest piece of 17-layer chocolate cake that I can find and purchase. And it can be $45. I don't care. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to put some trash TV on, and I'm going to have a moment of self-care and indulgence with that cake. That way, it's something that I am excited about if this doesn't happen. That way, it's not just you're bleeding and you're let down for 7 days. Mine lasts 7 days. So I don't want to be just sad on my period the whole time. I want to have something that I'm excited about and looking forward to. And you can do this with so many things. You can say, you know what? If I'm pregnant, I'm probably not going to go to a nice spa. So I'm not going to go sit in the heat, and I'm not going to do all that, or even a hot tub. Something less intense as far as financial goes. But you can go and do those things and kind of just force balance on your life, if you will. And that way, it's not a whole month of disappointment. It's a month where you're trying to sneak in pockets of joy. And if you're really struggling, it might be good to make sure those pockets of joy are with somebody. So I had a month where I told my husband, if it doesn't happen this month, I want to have a wine night. And I'm not saying wine month. I'm not saying wine week, I'm saying wine night. So when it didn't happen, I went out and I picked out all the soft cheeses, and I got us some meats that I knew I wouldn't eat if I was pregnant. And we just sampled some red wine and watched a movie and just paused on the pressure and just indulged and felt kind of how we usually do. And by doing that, it's been disrupting this letdown cycle, which I didn't really realize naively until I got into this. Now, I do want to pause and say, I am sensitive to the fact that if you've been trying for 2 years, you're probably over here going, Case, I am tired of soft cheese. I don't want wine. I don't want to go sit in a sauna. I don't want to do any of those things. I want a baby. And truthfully, this advice is really probably not going to help you, but it could help somebody in my shoes where it's month 7 or 8. Or if you're younger and it's been a year and you're still trying to try naturally and you don't feel that pressure, it could help somebody like that. Now, it could change for me if this does take us longer. I could easily jump on here and be like, yeah, this ain't working anymore. This is not it anymore. I am done with these little moments of self-indulgence, and I want results. And I fully acknowledge that there probably is a turning point to where this advice is just null. But for now, this truly has worked for me. Working in pleasure, working in little, I call them my rebellious moments, where I'm like, Well, if it doesn't happen, that means I can have a margarita. And it's been a good way to sprinkle some sunshine on something that could be really sad. Because when you want something and you're continuing to not get it, and you're taking all the supplements and you're doing all the things and you're trying to lower your stress and you're doing the stress, sorry about that remix of the word, and you're doing your acupuncture and you're the perfect patient, but it's just not happening, you're gonna have to find a way to take care of yourself and to keep yourself happy. Because, I mean, what other option do we have? I don't want to be miserable for a year while I'm doing this. I don't. I really don't. I want results, but I don't want to live through 35 sad. So if that means a date night with wine or one of those pastrami sandwiches that I can't have later on, I don't think you're supposed to have certain lunch meats, but I'm going to do it now. I'm going to time it in the moments where I will be most covered with a gray cloud. And that's been my strategy to cope. And let me tell you something, I feel a little punked because 2-week wait is, I wish that there was a suggestion box for Mother Nature, because this should not be 2 weeks. This makes people crazy. This truly should be maybe 3 days max. Like, it happens, it makes it down, and then it starts going. This whole 2-week thing is, it's really frustrating. Now, I know there's a lot going on, so I'll get over it, but this is so long. Like, this is just long and frustrating. Oh, and the other hack I did is I started putting the pregnancy test kind of out of reach for myself. So if I wanted to take one, I have to really think about it. Like, do I really want to do that to myself? Do I want to start urinating in a cup first thing in the morning for weeks? Or do I want to pause and think, will this serve me? Because I know logically that this is probably negative because it's too soon. It's not the right time to test. So if that means for you taking all your little test strips and putting them in the trunk of your car or down in the garage so that you have to actively think as you're walking there in the morning, is this going to help my mental health? It might be a good way to kind of pause you. That way you can be more present in your body and not just constantly test, because that was doing nothing for me. That was just gross. First off, I don't like peeing every day in a cup, like over it. And it wasn't serving me, because when you see constant reinforcements of no, how is that keeping your stress down? Which is something that we need to do while we're trying to get pregnant, right? So why are we doing this to ourselves? If we're taking it seriously, why are we doing something that's stressing us more? By putting it in your car or having a loved one hide them, not being too crazy and reordering them next to Amazon Prime, that could actually help you manage this as well. Yeah, that's been my strategy. If you have been trying for a long time, my heart goes out to you. As somebody that's on month 7 or 8, kind of lost track, if I feel like this, I can't imagine having years under my belt. And I hope this is not triggering for you, because that is not the intent. And I wish you luck, because girl, you got some endurance. If you're still just going at it and just trying your best and throwing everything at the kitchen sink, props to you. We as females, we go through a lot, and I really want to acknowledge that, and I see you, and I'm sorry, and I hope it happens for you. And that's it. Here I am, just wondering if I'm going to bleed today. Hugs, you all. Let's just keep supporting each other, because this journey is wild. Bye.